I think we need to sort something out there, and I know you want to launch in. Let's talk about the last couple of days. How many mines in the Hunter will be affected by Labor's safeguard mechanism?
No mines will be affected in the Hunter by our safeguard mechanism. All we have to do is compete and be the same as what our counterparts are doing overseas. This was brought in by James Thompson's party back in 2016. This was brought in by Abbott. This was brought in by also Scott Morrison. He was Treasurer at the time. We have to do the exact same thing as what they're doing. You guys are the exact same safeguard measures in place.
So none of these mines in the Hunter hit over 100,000 tonnes.
Sorry?
None of these mines in the Hunter hit that threshold that would require them to buy carbon credits under the safeguard mechanism scheme.
The safeguard mechanism scheme is designed that we are not disadvantaged against our counterparts over in overseas. That's not my question, though. That's okay, that's fine. I'm answering the question back, though. We are only having to do what we have to do with what our competitors are overseas, so that we are not disadvantaged here in our country to produce coal, have safe jobs and have jobs and safe families here. That's what we are doing.
This is not what your climate representative said. This is Chris Bowen. Have a look.
So yes, we will require the 215 emitters to reduce their emissions to net zero by 2050.
So does
that is what the Business Council has asked to happen.
Does it include coal mines?
Yes.
It includes.
Yes, and the Clean Energy Regulator will work with each facility, each of the 215 facilities, and say, all right, what's the available technology that you can have to reduce emissions, and what are your competitors facing around the world, and what's a sensible pathway for you to net zero, and then the facilities, whether it be a coal mine or an aluminium smelter or any of the other facilities, again, exactly the same, Chris, same list, whether it's a Labor government or a Liberal government, we'll just implement it better. We'll be able to decide how they reduce their emissions.
Yes, Dan.
Exactly what he said there, though, is that we are doing the same as what this current government is doing. We are doing the same. Workers will not be at risk underneath this policy. We will make sure of that.
It doesn't add up, though. Either they pay under the safeguard mechanism or your net zero policy does not add up. Which one is it?
So at the end of the day, we both have the same plan here.
That's not right.
Going forwards. We both do. What's your plan?
Well, let me explain the Labor Party's policy, even though they can't explain it properly themselves. The safeguard mechanism that is being referred to by Chris Bowen, ours is set at the roof level. It doesn't affect any existing businesses, and the Nationals have never and will never put a carbon tax on coal mining jobs. Under the Labor Party's policy, they've set their safeguard mechanism here, and there are 215 businesses in Australia that are affected, 15 mines here in the Hunter Valley, and 10,000 workers who work at those 15 mines. Not only that, to all the viewers watching at home, right across this country, the Labor Party's plan, there are 2 of our last oil refineries that will also be taxed under their plan. So under Labor Party's plan, the cost of fuel is going to go up because those oil refineries have 2 choices. One, they can move overseas and take their workforce with them, or they can pass that cost on to the consumer. The Labor Party have a great big carbon tax, and Dan, you need to be honest with the voters in Hunter of how they're going to be affected under your plan.
I am being honest, James, and they're not going to be affected under our plan. Our plan is the same as yours.
So mines are included under your threshold?
Mines are included in our whole plan. Every business.
So
those
mines
215,
will be taxed?
No, mines will not be taxed. Those 215 businesses are included in our plan. That all we have to do is meet what our competitors are doing overseas. This is not a tax. You can say whatever you want here, James. This is not a tax.
The clear difference between the Nationals and the Labor Party is that the Labor Party want to reduce emissions through taxing you. The Coalition are investing in technology. That's the difference. That's a big difference.
We are investing in technology as well, James. What we are doing is we are going to make sure that we don't have the infighting like you guys do, because we know we can get to net zero by 2050 because we have had the biggest independent study done by any organisation that hasn't been involved within the government.
So you're saying Chris Bowen is wrong?
Chris Bowen is saying what Chris Bowen is saying. I'm saying what I know. We are not taxing coal mines.
Dan, we're going around in circles here.
What we are doing is we're going to have to meet the same standards as what our competitors overseas are doing. That is what that plan sets.
He's saying one thing, Chris Bowen's saying one thing, you are saying another here. So what is the truth? What are voters who are looking at your name on the ballot box expected to think?
I'm saying what I know the plan says, and that is all we need to do.
Mines
is match.
will not be affected.
Mines will not be affected by this in our area, in the Hunter.
Unless they hit the threshold, and then they need to buy carbon credits, and that's a levy.
The working area here will be safe. Miners' jobs are safe here in this area.
That's not the question, though. That's not. I'm not asking about jobs. I'm asking about the threshold and whether this safeguard mechanism means that there will be a cost to mines.
There is not a tax happening for the mine industry.
I'm not asking about a tax. That's his words.
Yep.
I'm asking about a cost. Let's call it a levy.
Yep.
Will there be a levy?
They are included in the 215 people safeguarded, businesses safeguarded underneath this policy. As I said, this policy is just the same as their policy that got introduced by Tony Abbott and Scott Morrison.